just sort of I'd give some information that about 5 studies have been done in this country of patients checking their own GP records, and they've all confirmed that 30% of those records contain errors. That's your record, or somebody in your family will have an error in that record. Now that's a system which we've come to promulgate and accept because we prefer people not to know there's anything wrong rather than actually deal with it. I mean, it's not what industry or the nuclear industry process or the electrical engineering processes would accept, or the airplane industry would accept. They would have a near-miss policy. If something really happens, you make sure that system doesn't happen again. The medical protection societies say constantly that complaints are made because of lack of communication, poor information. To find out that you had your left foot chopped off is really a bit sad. If you could have looked at the record beforehand and said, actually, it's my right foot. So we're sort of trying to protect an old culture whereby we know there's a lot of mistakes made. Some people say 10,000 deaths a year. The International Organisation of Medicine said across the world that massive amounts of errors occur because we don't have the information. And so there is another side of the story, and a doctor's duty of care, some people would say, is to actually see, well, what are the best risks and benefits for the patient. And my view is that it's by far the best interest to know and have an opportunity to correct the records and make that information available, because they are actually the only person that's going to be at every intervention that they have. And the more they know about that information, and the more they can check it and find errors. Errors compound themselves, as you've heard with that story, and it's a different paradigm. We've not worked that way before, but we do actually have a technology now where information can be made available immediately for checking by patients.
I'll just add as well that I think certainly the local care record board has spoken quite a bit about how we currently deal with giving people access to their own records, because it's an act of parliament, access to the records act, and also under the Data Protection Act. Subject access requests are part of that. So if we wanted to go to any organisation that we think holds information about us, we do have a legal right to see it. Really what I'm trying to do here is make that a lot more flexible and more seamless. But as Richard said, probably I think the NHS employers, the figure is 1.1 million people, and it holds information about the entire population, registered population at least. So there are millions of records, and there are bound to be imperfections in those. But I think the electronic access gives us the opportunity, if people want to exercise the right, it's putting back to patients the chance to see our own records. And I know personally, because the practice I'm registered with has been using EMIS for a long time, has been paperless for a long time, and I spoke to the GP and asked about it, and I was told, not in this practice. It was something that they weren't interested in offering.